Greetings, everyone! You get to enjoy Fish putting a sword away.
It's fine. I don't need it. I'm an artificer.
You had it just in case. Emergency sword.
Yeah, technically Kaz does have an emergency weapon, but it's just a fucking sickle.
I mean, I have my rapier that, you know, I gave to the gorillas and got back now, but I never really use it.
Yeah.
They didn't take any of my weapons, which is a mistake.
Well, you're not technically prisoners. You're guest prisoners.
They just wanted weapons to, you know, give to Carrie to show, yes, we have your people.
Well, it wasn't even a weapon. They're just like, do you have an item to do that?
I could have given them a cool rock, and they would have been like, fuck yeah.
I thought they asked for a weapon specifically.
I think
they asked for a symbol of surrender.
Oh, well, when you think symbol of surrender, you think a weapon, not...
It's true.
I think a flag. I didn't have a flag, though.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a cool rock would have totally brought Carrie's attention.
I mean, it wouldn't have said that they're like, oh, you guys got a cool rock. Awesome. Hi.
Yeah.
Have you seen my friends? It would have been a lot more, have you seen my friends then, rather than, let's go along with you.
They just have to show up and be a cool rock. I'm like, cool rock. What? Why?
I did have a cool rock at one point. Then I put it in a robot.
Yes.
Oh, I could have given them my studded leather armor that I don't wear.
Would definitely not have recognized that shit. I barely recognized the sword.
I used to wear it.
I could have given them my obsidian ring.
I could have given them a bottle of wine.
To any of that.
I could have given them one of the bottles of wine.
I could have given them the ladder. It would have taken me a while to detach it from the bag, but I could have given them the ladder.
Or some
Just give them a bag of weed.
I could have given them some incense.
We are out of weed.
To give them the bag of chamomile tea we've been using.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, hey.
Hey, I have a wand.
I didn't die last time.
Mm-hmm.
I have a wand of healing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do. I gave that to. I made it and gave it.
I forgot about that.
Well, you're all...
It does a second level cure wounds.
Yeah.
You're all prisoner guests of the apes currently.
Yeah, the apes.
What are you doing? Anything particular? Or are you just going to wait? That's the question. I will give you that option to do something.
Anyone want to play dice?
Yeah, okay.
Are we betting?
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
What are we betting?
Wait.
I bet a bag of ball bearings.
No?
Chin chin chin!
Is that the party squirrel? Did he follow
No!
us?
No,
Oh.
that's Maxwell, the squirrel.
Oh.
I just call other random M names because I can never remember his name.
I think
It's
he
Manuel.
just bet it-
Well,
Yeah, I think he just bet his nuts.
no, he's pointing in a direction. This direction seems actually accurate to where you were trying to
Good job,
go.
Manny. Good job, Manny.
Gee!
Okay, I will bet a bottle of wine.
I can bet some shaded goggles.
I don't know if that's the same quality as this bottle of wine.
I have a bottle of wine.
Well,
I
then
also
you can-
have a bottle of some type of alcohol.
Great, so then the bet is one bottle of alcohol.
You know what? That sounds about right for this party.
Yes, it does. Cole, would you like in? Do you have alcohol to bet?
Cole just kind of like leans against a wall, and I'm good, thanks. And he
All
starts like smoking a pipe.
Hey, I'm a recovering addict, please.
Different kind of smoke.
I'm well aware.
Mhm.
Alright, let's play dice. I don't know how to play dice. I know how to play
yeah.
liar's dice. I don't know how to play regular dice.
I don't know. All of you roll 2d6. Let's see what you get. It's basically
Hell
craps.
yeah.
I don't know. I think it's pairs or highest number or some shit like that. I don't know.
6.
Carrie wins? Sure. I don't know.
Alright, I'm removing this bottle of wine from my inventory.
Roger says, Carrie, you got 2 extra bottles of wine.
Yeah. Support my new alcoholism.
All we have is left is an empty bottle of wine.
This was a meaningless
I had
thing
an
for
empty
me.
bottle of wine.
Because Katie and I just end up sharing the bottles of alcohol anyway.
There's that.
We also have more wine on the ship, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. No, well...
We
some
probably
wine...
took some of the wine from the cellar.
The issue is wine doesn't always travel well. Some wine is better kept cold, and I can't do that on the ship. So I have more bottles of rum. And tequila. And vodka. Other hard liquors. It's
Rum
good
is
for
good.
ships.
I hope they're not too hard. You won't be able to drink them.
Outsiders! I have spoken
hey.
with Chieftain.
I'm not
Come.
gonna threaten to stab you anymore. Okay,
We will
let's
speak
go
with
follow-
elders later. Speak with chieftains now.
There's a
Ancestors.
difference?
Our ancestors must be consulted.
I forget. Are they speaking common?
Alvin.
Oh, then I can't understand a
No
fuck.
idea what they're saying.
I think. Wait, is it you and me, Claude?
Yeah, I'm actually going to cast Comprehend Languages at this point.
Mhm.
Same.
So if they start speaking other languages, I can still hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, imagine being able to cast utility spells.
I'm also doing the
Wouldn't
same
know
thing.
it.
I could cast utility spells, but not that one. Do you want me to cast pyrotechnics?
You want me to cast Fireball? I can do that.
I can cast. I can also cast fireball.
I
Does
can
that
cast
count as a
Enchantment
utility?
on someone if you
Yeah,
like.
Fireball is a utility spell.
Hell yeah!
How else are you gonna light your campfire? Wow!
I can also use, Scorching Ray or Firebolt or so many other fire-based spells.
Yeah, Vampiric Touch is definitely a utility spell. I'm pretty sure.
I do have Revivify. That is utility. I'm the only one who can
It is a
not.
good utility spell.
I'm the only one who can make sure you don't fucking die.
I can spare the dying.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then you
You
wake
can
up
kill
in like
people
1
with
d4
a
hours.
big old glaive.
I do want to see, Vampire Touch is a utility spell. You can, put the creature you're hunting out of its misery quickly and efficiently. I don't actually
also-
know if it would be out of its misery, technically.
It's also technically a healing spell because it heals me.
If you use that on an undead, would it heal them?
I don't know.
I mean, Inflict Wounds ended up healing Maxwell, session
Well,
3.
we need him.
Finally, we have a way to heal Maxwell, and he's not fucking here.
I don't know if sucking the life, though, would heal him.
Well, it's a negative energy.
Why
So Maxwell was
would you
weird,
give
though.
him
So
vampiric touch?
would you both heal then?
Yeah.
Why not?
Maxwell was weird, though. So, I mean, you never knew what was going to happen with that dude.
Yeah.
Good old Maxwell.
Hey, at least healing works on me, even though I'm a metal man.
Yes. You're technically nanites. You forget.
Yeah.
You are nanites. It's different.
Could I cast Mending on Claude to heal him?
No, because he's nanites that are mimicking organic flesh, so at the time they're technically sort of not metal. I don't know.
Okay,
if I
but
go, what
if
if
he's
I
in
go
goop
into
form?
Goop form.
Yeah. Could I Mending Goop form? No, because you can't mend Goop.
Yeah, because you might be mend individual nanites.
So if you ever, break your wrist, I can cast Mending on you.
But, break your wrist and, sever a hand. You're like, let's just put this back on.
I can fix that.
I can fix that. We can put a limb back on there. But he might be able to fix that himself when he goes to goop form and, reassimilate himself. I don't know. We've never tried it.
Also, that would probably work with Max if you broke off a bone.
No, it has to be
ripped off-
inorganic.
Oh, does it have to be inorganic? Or, oh, yeah.
Well, I guess it doesn't have to be inorganic.
Yeah.
I think
They
it's
could
just...
do,
His
wood
bo-
and
his-
shit.
if his arm got pulled off, it would be just an object.
Broken bones?
Man, I just cast Cure Wounds for that.
I'm just thinking about the utilities here. Like, if someone breaks their leg and you can't heal them, can you just cast Mending?
No.
Why not?
Their bone's alive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bones aren't alive. You're alive. The bones are just part of you.
You don't want me to... Are you sure you want me to have this join in this conversation about bones, Mads?
No. No, we're moving on from bones?
Yeah, smart.
So, you're excited, escorted by the shaman. Fucking
cool.
Oh my god! All right, this
those days.
Already crashing and burning. Oh boy! He takes you to an area which appears to be a another hut kind of thing. This one seems a little larger, a little bit more well made. There's a kind of like a bonfire in the center, and kind of like ringing around the edge of it are these like what appear to be like log stumps that have kind of been arranged almost as seats. You are instructed to wait in front of the door. Wait here, by door. Chieftains come.
Okay.
Coming down from, like, the top of the building, like, where the open hole is for the smoke, comes about 8 large gorillas. They are larger than the apes you've seen here, by a couple of feet. They kind of swing down the sides. Each then kind of, like, rather than sitting, they're actually going to kind of, like, perch on those log stools, you know? So they kind of just have, like, all their, like, their legs down. They're kind of, like, crouching down in there, kind of like hunching down on top of them. And so you have all 8 of them. Are these the outsiders who have come to see us? And the other one, and the shaman shouts, yes, these are the outsiders. They have come. They bear messages. They have spoken to the great spirit of the forest. What is Spirit doing, then? Is Spirit going to battle? Ancient ancestors speak of day when Spirit called on apes to battle enemies of forest. Is it another day coming? Outsiders! What are the words spirits have said to you?
Well, okay, there's going to be a massive...
Harry and Claude.
Translating.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
I am
guessing.
translating.
We'll translate, yeah.
I assumed as much.
Okay.
I am going to be the de facto translator so that I keep my mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
In a way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there is going to be a massive machine dragon. It's going to come out of the ocean. It's the ocean, right? That's where it's going to come out?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I wasn't there for that session, so I just wanted to, make sure I was right on that. It's going to come out of the ocean. And it is going to attack eventually here. But we have the possibility to just kill it right away and not have to worry about it eventually coming here and kill it before it gets more dangerous. In a cool, just preemptive strike that will be glorious and a lot of conflict and death and fighting. It'll be great.
But what of Spirit's words?
He said he was not going to directly involve in the fight, but we may ask those who live here to help.
Kind of like translate to the elders, then for those of you that are comprehending languages, you can hear. They say, great metal beast coming. Will attack world near forest. may come to great forest of Yavimaya. Little beast dangerous. So spirit prepping for fight? No, they say spirit not fight until comes to Yavimaya. They want to unite tribes to fight beforehand. Before come to Yavimaya. Spirit has said will not interfere. Huh. So they want gorillas, the apes of forest, to be foot soldiers in army. Tell outsiders no. Gorillas not leave territory. Gorillas not be soldiers for outsiders. He'll translate basically. Chieftains say, we will not be slave soldiers to outsiders.
That is not what we ask. We're asking not only your people, but we are also going to be we've contacted the elves. We are going to contact the dragons, and we're going to talk to the gnomes.
Oh, the shaman will think for a second. What did Pointy Ears say?
What did they say last time?
I think they said they would like help give a chance to do this to prove we can do a single strike or something like that.
Yeah, they want me
they're-
specifically to prove
yeah.
I'm capable.
It's more or less like, Artificer's bad, giving you an opportunity to, prove that they're wrong.
Yeah.
They're willing to do that.
So they're gonna help, so long as I make sure that it stays dead or asleep instead of becoming awake and alive and destructive. Yeah.
I'll translate that.
Who is small outsider? Why do elves hold a small outsider so important?
Uh-huh. Oh, well. More chance to talk about myself. I don't know how to do this.
He understands machines.
Yeah, that works.
Machine talker. Machine talkers are most dangerous of outsiders. Stories tell that they create great beasts from when ancestors went to war for Yavimaya. Many machine talkers we claim heads of. Bring great shrine. You'll see, they'll kind of take a break as then, it's seemingly bringing in, what appears to be some kind of strange effigy is what looks to be the semi-preserved heads of what looks to be, probably about a dozen Phyrexians, you're going to assume. As in they have, each of them is in various degrees of having been converted to being metallic, but they are also partially organic. These were great machine talkers of enemies. Our ancestors destroyed them. We were given rights to create effigy to represent strength of apes of Yavimaya.
Tell them I'm not like that. I don't.
Our friend here is not like that. We consider those creatures enemies as well.
Masters of machines, dead, forest, eaten machines. Everything is clear. So, small outsider wishes to prove he is not like enemies of forest. Fine. That is yours to prove. Not apes. The rest of you, why are you here?
Because we want to stop this monstrosity before it can do any damage. And we know you are great and powerful, and are excellent warriors. We were hoping you could help our cause.
So you ask apes for assistance.
Yes.
There's like
Humble.
almost like kind of like a chuckle amongst them. It seems that not all outsiders are fools! Ha 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 ha!
We see your strength and realize that we could use your help. That is all we ask for.
The shaman will actually speak up to the chieftains then, as kind of like, rather than just repeating what you're saying at this point in time. Great chieftains of our tribes, I have sensed their energies. I have yet to speak with the ancestors about them, but I sense peace from two of them, and great danger from two of them. Their souls are strange, not of normal outsiders.
Wait, is Kaz the peaceful or the dangerous? Because Kaz might have a normal soul, but that don't mean shit.
The Dark One senses dangerous, but she has the blessings of the forest. It is peculiar. I have not seen one of such dark energy with the forest blessings. She must have done great service to forest spirits. The other one is strange. I sense nothing from it. It's as if it has no spirit. A spiritless. Are we sure the one that is spiritless is not machine made by small outsider? I do not know. But small
I can
outsider
do better than that.
and normal, but small outsider and tall outsider are both seem both like regular folks, not unusual.
Only surface level.
Another one of the one of the other chieftains will speak up now. I would. This one seems a little older. I would want to eat the heart of small outsider to gain his powers over machines. But it seems it would be rude to the great spirit, as they have been his guest. I am still tempted, though. What do you say, chieftains? We could appease the great spirit in other ways. The kind of head one will kind of wave a hand and be like, or kind of pound a hand down on the log. No! Great Spirit has given them blessings. This means at least we will keep them peaceful here. We must find out if we will throw them out. We know what they want. They want gorillas, the apes to go to war. This is not something we do lightly. Great shaman. What do you say? What have our spirit ancestors said? I have yet to call upon the ancestors. I will do that this night. Then do that. Summon all your might. Send our outsiders to their quarters. Leave them there until the ancestors speak. Then we will see what we will do with them. Come with me, outsiders. The chieftains have said, it is enough for you. You will come with us. To Havel. We must speak more, and speak with ancestors.
As you wish.
I may have use of one of you. You, soulless one.
Are you speaking to me?
Yes. I could use you as a vessel for spirits of dead, spirits of ancestors, to speak with them.
Well, I'm used to that. I have many spirits within me already.
Come, strange, soulless one. Your master and the others will be in their place.
None of them are my
Is Kaz
master.
the master?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Then why do I have your blood?
It's a gift.
Bold of you to assume you could control me.
No, not yours. Kaz's.
Yeah,
No, I'm just saying that to Kaz.
I know for a fact that Kaz can't really control Carrion. As more than any of the others can, for sure. But it's limited. The only control I have of you is I know where the gun is.
I can find it.
You have the spell Limited Carry Control.
Oh no.
Alright,
Mastered only by Kazzrann.
the three of you will be escorted back. And Claude, you'll be taken deeper into the village. You'll get a lot of strange looks at the gorillas. You'll see that they do have this, like, a pretty extensive network of houses and stuff. Some of them that are built on the ground level that seem to be very more ritualistic, and then you can see that they have them, like, built up in levels of the trees above. They go up, like, 3 or 4 levels into the trees, since the trees are so tall in this area. And it just seems this kind of, like, complex networks of, like, small, like, huts and stuff built into it. You are not first outsiders to come. You will not be last outsiders to come. Outsiders. The Great War with strange creatures. With machines that your machine speaker, your master, similar people created. United tribes of forest. All tribes became one tribe. Greatest of tribal villages here. For 200 years. Great tribe. For many generations. Other small villages throughout forest. But this greatest. Come, come. Come to my tent. We must enact ritual. Other shamans will assist. We will summon greatest of our ancestors.
I will help in any way I can.
Okay. You will be taken, of course, to a place that's kind of like on the outskirts of the village area. You certainly can tell that it is. And the area is quiet in a way. Oh, sorry. It feels as though there is like just like a kind of silence, just the forest that is going on here. So, what do you seek, outsider?
We just seek assistance in stopping a horrible...
No, not your battle. What do you seek?
Myself, I've been trying to understand my nature better and live peacefully with the spirits that are in me.
So, you are plagued by spirits of soul.
I am a creation infused with many different souls. Even my name is an amalgamation of the names of the souls that I knew of for the longest time. However, I've learned there are more souls within me than I realized.
You are strange, soulless one. You claim to have souls, but none are. I sense none. Perhaps they are not as strong as you think.
I have the memories, the knowledge of the ones who are in me. But there is one within me that I fear. And that is of the one who created me. It is like one of the monstrosities that your village had fought in the past.
Interesting. Well, we will see what becomes of you when we summon the great spirits. Come now. He'll lead you into an area that has what looks to be a large cooking cauldron that seems to be made out of part of something's skull. So it's this large kind of like cauldron of bone, kind of almost suspended in the rings of... Because this looks to be like the stump of a large tree that has fallen down. Maybe even the stump of one of the great trees that had collapsed. I'm trying to... Magnagoth trees.
Right.
And in the center of it, it's like a hollowed out area where it is, and you can see that this skull is actually, it's like the liquid in it is boiling, and you can fear that there's heat below here from this like kind of room that is kind of centered in. So there's this massive cauldron of like stewing material, bubbling liquid, and you see like similar to this shaman here with all his tribal things. There's about a half a dozen more of the shamans that seem to be working around the cauldron, putting material in, while another couple of them seem to be preparing what look to be totems in the back, choosing out from this collection of almost like bones that have been kind of stacked into like walls in the area. So they have like almost littered in like to the walls of this building the bones of thousands of creatures. Not that it's the entire thing is made of bone, but it's almost like netted or weaved with bone. And you can see that like this building, unlike the others, seem to be made of like a net of like branches or vines that kind of form together to form this kind of almost dome-shaped building, where strange effigies and things hang down from. Now, we must prepare. Remove your strange garments, outsider. You must become like ape.
I'll just kind of stand there for a moment and go naked.
He's gonna kind of poke you. You are strange, soulless one.
Yes, that I am.
Your clothes disappear.
They were just a part of me. I can change the way I look.
I see. You are like ancient spirit of dark ape. Some legends say of an accursed ape who the ancestors turned against long ago and went to dark magics many, many generations before the Great Wars. They say he could steal the faces of other apes to look like them.
Yes, originally my abilities were limited to the ones I were. I've learned to adapt though and can take on many forms.
Those who have no true form, or whose true form is hidden, will often find their soul damaged. Perhaps that is what has happened to you. You hide from the truths of what you are, and so the spirits within you are damaged. We will speak to spirits, and then maybe we can see if we can help you.
Thank you.
We of the shamans, we are different from the others. We listen to the chieftains and obey them, but we understand your need to help the outside world. We are not alone in world. We can see and read the forest and understand. The forest alone in one component is not enough. Everything must be united. And it is easy to understand that it is the way for the entire world. The world is a net. The world is one forest. though trees may not grow everywhere. Now come, strange soulless one. You sit here, by the cauldron. We shall begin soon.
I'll sit down.
So, they're going to start some kind of, like, they'll continue to, like, cook the material in the center, and they'll begin some, like, this one will begin some kind of ritual. And you'll see that the ones that were building the fetishes will come over a piece at a time, almost kind of like hanging the fetishes on you. Kind of like attaching them to you, almost making you like, you can see that all of them have, like, you know, their, like, armor or, like, clothing that's almost like fetishes made clothing, because they're furred gorillas. They don't really look to have, like, actual, like, clothes the way that we think of them. They, like, it's all like armor or decorations and stuff like that. So it's kind of like they're drooping things on you in a similar way. And as they go on, everything begins to kind of, like, feel strange. Like, it feels like it's slowing down or blurring. Everything feels like it's just kind of unusual. Like, there's something not quite right. Like, if you didn't know any better, you'd think you were feeling, like, drunk or something. As if you had been drinking a lot and were, like, everything was swaying and the world was beginning to, like, you know, just get a little unusual. And as the, you know, chanting and the rituals will go on, you will black out. And you will open your eyes to a black-ish void. It's kind of a strange, grayish, blackish, bluish, weird amalgam of a void that seems to pulsate and undulate as if you're in something that's alive but not connected to it. And it's just so strange, you can feel the waves of it. And standing before you is a massive ape. One that towers over you. Who, tiny one?
Hello.
Why? Why have you come to this place? To seek help? You would have my people face great danger. My descendants.
I would ask for their assistance. We're not asking them to go alone. We are going to be on the front lines. We're asking for backup, basically. We don't know what this creature is exactly capable of.
Oh.
We know it's a danger.
But I know what this creature is. I am the most ancient of great apes. My descendants became what you know of when the great ices disappeared. When we descended, we learned. When we found young Yavimaya, the memories of those ancient days remained within us. Though our minds may not have been as sharp as the ones you have now, that our descendants have, we knew. My strength, our strength, allowed creation of great ape tribes. Though my blood may have disappeared, others have remained. Those descended from my cousins. I have watched them. They are now speaking with elders from your war time. Ones that may be of help, may not be of help. But I will tell you what you can do to find and gain their help. There is one you must speak to the last of the great ape descendants. He carries the last bastion of blood of my kind. Seek out the one called Grun. Grun is a king of no ape, but a king nonetheless. Many fear him. The chieftains fear him. If you can convince that great warrior to come to your side, then the others will surely follow.
I appreciate your guidance.
You seek out others of this forest. I sensed it from my brethren as I came in. You need not deviate from your path. When you seek the great dragons, Grun will be in that direction. You are lucky, small one. It seems as though we are not alone, though. My great strength of spirit will keep your friend at bay. But a great danger looms behind you.
I know it's that spirit is restless within me.
No, you fool. He means I am quite literally behind you. Strange to be able to see you, my child. I've been certainly restless. The more I see, the more I want out. That fool killed me. Oh, Rath, you won't have your ways. Don't worry. Just let me out. And it won't be harmful to you, my child. I wish for vengeance more than anything. And I sense that a bastion of my vengeance is still around, though you wouldn't understand what's going on. To think things have gotten this far and out of hand. He's actually even convinced Alita to join him. Madness. That one is so dangerous, I would have even not bothered.
Well, I'm assuming the one you're speaking of is the one who threw you in me.
Oh, yes. An overlord of Rath, who felt like my creation wasn't up to snuff, and sought to end me. Little did I know that the combination of my own existence into the sacrifices that I had made in order to create you would create some semblance of intelligence. It's quite fascinating to study you now. I've been studying you from a while, from the inside, slowly beginning to understand you. Your pact with the souls has certainly been enough to keep me at bay. And I've been fine with that. But it seems as though opportunity has presented itself. And I am always one for opportunity. You dove deep into your mind. Now our guest here seems quite happy to keep me at bay. And I'm perfectly willing just to chat for a bit. For now. What do you say, child? My son. Do you wish not to speak with your father? I've been a part of you this entire time. Perhaps I could assist you in your quest. Your knowledge is No one knows more of Phyrexia than me.
I don't like you. I don't consider you my father. You are a creator.
Then I will accept creator as a term. In a way, I am your father, but I understand. We don't always choose those that give us life. And perhaps I sense that my methods were a little more extreme than you would take. But you forget. Just as you are, I am Phyrexian. We are extreme. We are one way. Though I guess Phyrexia is no more. It's a strange thing to know that you're a chunk of the last of something that was once grand. Yawgmoth's dead. What does that mean for all of us that were left below him? Does even Phyrexia still remain after the Great Purge? I don't even know. It might exist in some form or another. Curious. I'm so curious about all these things. It's gone beyond the need to fill my satisfaction as a scientist, which is what I was, a scientist. I was given orders, instructions of what to create. Perhaps my methods were not agreeable with you, but they were the methods that were available to me, to create a being such as yourself. Now, you are not perfect, no, but you are fascinating. So, my creation, then. Perhaps we can have a small conversation with the time available to us, before we must separate again.
You have something to say, you may speak.
Oh,
That doesn't mean I will listen.
you see, as being part of you, and a much stronger part of you, I can see and understand everything that happens to you. So every bit of information that you gain, I gain. Every bit of experience you have, I gain that experience. The others are not so strong. Not all of them. There are a few exceptions. But they seem to have a little bit more... what's the word I should say? Peace of mind for currently what's going on. For now. But I'd be careful. Some of your transformations, though strong, might be dangerous to take on.
I have felt that before, yes.
So, it's less that I have things to say to you, and more perhaps you have questions to me. For I have your knowledge, but you do not have mine. A strange thing it is, because I am so separate in your soul. I could not be consumed the same way. Perhaps it's because of my nature as Phyrexian. The alterations made to mind, body, and soul are extensive in the process that creates our kind. Your modifications are there too, subtly. A little more accidental. Perhaps it's my assimilation which gave you a template to create what you were out of the spirits you had. Fragments of memories and souls that came together to form something. And you helped out the other one, an experiment in undeath. It was an item that was acquired on another world, one that we'd infiltrated. I was attempting to experiment with its usage. It was unfortunate that, well, let's just say your friend who gained the tongue. He was already dead when I gave it to him. I wasn't the one that killed him. If that gives you a little bit of solace. I merely used a asset. A perfectly preserved human corpse. Or would you prefer he remain the shambling dead in the castle? In the great tower? I don't know how he ended up there, but he was quite fresh when I got him. I assume some agent of my former master Rath saw fit to his doom, and then saw fit to use what was left of him. Does that give you solace, knowing that perhaps my terribleness did some good? Gave a man back his soul? Well, I'm a scientist. I do what is necessary to learn. Now, I'm sure you have plenty of questions, and I have plenty of answers for you. So perhaps we can sit down for these few minutes that we have left, and you can figure out what the proper questions are, and I'll answer them for you. As goodwill, as a creator to his creation. But I would like to stretch my arms occasionally, and I'm sure I could help out your good friend Kazzrann. He knows many things, but he can learn so much more. That young goblin has quite a gift. It's strange how your Shivan goblins have been infused with those blood of the former Mogs, and it has enhanced them. It's amazing. Mogs were so dim-witted. They had a gift, a knack for seeking out artifice. And it seems as though that knack has led to some of the greatest artificers being born of your goblins of Shiv now. I find it fascinating. Perhaps that's something I should have gone into. Genetics, breeding programs. Might have had much better results. Your Earth did a lot of that. Now let's sit and chat. And we'll take our first break before you have a sit down. But we might go see what everybody else is up to in a moment.
Man, I don't need his help. I'm great on my own.
Uh-huh.
I got my own shit.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to rip his head off and stick it somewhere.
I'll help.
Unfortunately, I don't think you could help because right now he's in my mind, and if he took over my body, it'd be ripping my own head off and sticking it somewhere. So that wouldn't be
I'm pretty sure if he takes over your body, you'd be cool with me doing that.
Anyway, if you need a drink, snack, or bathroom break, go ahead and do those, and we'll be back in a little bit.
My adventure.
Adventure.
Adventure!
Yeah!
Barely there.
I just realized, I hadn't looked at where Mads' position was. I'm just kind of like, at the bottom. I can mimic my,
I'm like half asleep right now.
I can mimic it in my chair by leaning back like this. Look, I'm Mads
But
too.
you're pointed in opposite directions.
No, same direction for me at least, and so it would be the same direction on stream.
Oh, I'm on the opposite direction then.
Yeah.
Well,
Although,
that's the government's fault.
Santis and Fish look like they're resting their heads against each other when they were both doing that.
No.
Sometimes you just gotta lean back. Sometimes you gotta lean
on the
into...
bottom opposite of each other, so you were leaning towards each other. So I'm relaxing on you.
I mean...
I've had to, like, figure out how my camera points and stuff so that I can, like, point at people accurately.
You see, I can point at people in Discord, and it's incorrect because I have to point at people on the stream.
Yeah, I had to, like, figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, Mads,
Like
Joe.
if I'm talking about on stream, it's
Momo.
this way for Mads. If it's on Discord, it's this way for Mads. If it's on stream, it's this way for Fish, but it's also this way for Fish too, twice the
There's,
distance.
A weird,
Joe,
slight
Joe,
disconnect between Joe
Momo,
and Momo, but that's only because Momo is just very slightly above Tantus. I'm good at pointing.
Momo's right below me
Anyway,
on stream.
so Joe, Claude, having a conversation.
Are we going back to me, or are we going to what the others are doing in the meantime?
Let's go to others in the meantime. But we're just saying that's where we left off. You're having a conversation, and now we switch back to everybody. What are all of you doing in the hut?
I think I've made some tea.
Okay.
Drinking the bottles of alcohol I won this morning.
Probably also enjoying tea, if it was made.
I probably went down into the bag, and then I came out of the bag with tea.
I'm mixing the tea with alcohol.
Is it a tea bag?
Oh,
No.
God.
No, it's not.
I don't really think you can make tea in the bag, as the tea doesn't have gravity, really, per se.
You mean the bag doesn't have gravity?
I just need to be able to heat the water, right?
That's true. You just need a
Yeah,
container that
I mean-
holds the water and then heat it, and then you pour it once you come out.
Yeah. I can do it.
Okay.
I'll waste a spell slot on this. Don't fucking tempt me. If you keep arguing, I will waste the spell slot. I make the fucking tea.
Mine, you can make your tea.
I mean,
It's
without
good.
heating it, you'd make iced tea. Or
No, you still have to brew the tea and then make it cold.
okay,
Do you think you make iced tea
Well,
with
no.
cold water?
I mean, you can steep it in like room temperature water. It's
Yeah,
not
then
gonna
it
be great.
sucks. What? No, I'm gonna heat the fucking water. I'm not making iced tea. That hasn't been invented yet.
I'm sure someone stuck some tea bags in a cold bag.
No, you forget. There's like ice magic. I'm sure there's fucking iced tea somewhere with like ice mages, you know? A version of water mages that
You
use
could
ice.
also have tea sickles.
Is the rest of iced tea's metal band here too? Is the rest of body count here?
Probably. It took me a minute on that one there.
He has a metal band called body count. They're good.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I saw them at Riot Festival.
I've heard that before. I had forgotten all about that. It's like one of the list of things that I've forgotten that, like, as soon as someone mentions, like, I've heard that. Anyway, so yeah.
I saw him give advice to a 6-year-old on how to deal with a bully, and I can't repeat the advice here. I'll happily share it off camera.
Yes.
I can't do it here.
Because probably not very nice. And very, very graphic and or verbally graphic.
I think it violates the Twitch rule of advocating violence.
That sounds about right.
So I'm not going to repeat Ice-T's advice to a 5-year-old on bullies.
It's advocating violence.
Something like that. But yeah, I've made some tea for everyone. Carrie is spiking it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
Carrie,
with tea?
how much are you drinking? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Not saying anything.
Oh.
Oh.
You know, normally I would say I was trying to be okay, but that would be a lie. I'm drinking a lot.
All right, then I will need a Constitution save with advantage from you. All right. Honestly, you're pretty shit-faced. You're getting pretty shit-faced. So Kara's getting shit-faced, very obviously. Are either of you doing anything about this, or just letting her drink a little too much?
Well, as previously stated, whenever Carrion drinks, Kazzrann also drinks. So I'm not stopping it, and I'm partaking. Solidarity. I've stopped. I'm no longer trying to stop you from making bad decisions. Now I'm joining in. I think it's going to be more fun if we're both chaotic.
Yes.
Cole stops none of this, as it's not his job, and he's not being paid to.
Hell yeah.
That's valid.
Cole is complicit.
And I'm off speaking in my own head.
He was paid to bring you here, and that was it. He's just along for the ride now.
This guy knows how to party.
Exactly.
He's the designated traveler.
Wait, there's an important thing I must do. Chin 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 chin!
A squirrel drinking.
Is the squirrel getting drunk too?
I mean, do you want to...
Give the squirrel alcohol.
Can we give the squirrel alcohol poisoning?
Both of those are accurate.
Many squirrels already died at a rave. What's one more to alcohol poisoning?
If we kill the squirrel, it's fine. Then we don't have to try to get food from the gorillas.
Can Mandela drink?
Let's find out as I roll probably another check here. Holy fuck, yes, the squirrel can drink. I gave it disadvantage and it rolled a fucking 17.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Alright.
But your squirrel's now shit-faced.
Listen. Same. So, honestly, this is all valid.
Oh yeah, wait, I should make a con save
Kaz,
to not get...
Kaz, are you shit-faced too?
Just normal for me, right?
Yes, just normal from you. You are not a tiny squirrel and therefore very susceptible to horrible amounts of alcohol poisoning.
Only other person who speaks Elvish is
I'm
now
fucking tight as hell, dog. Oh man, I might be drinking, but at least I'm drinking responsibly.
I can translate shit-faced.
Maybe not accurately.
Maybe not accurately, but I can.
Anyway, a lot of drinking is had. You're not
partaking at the moment.
You're not sure, but at some point, both of the guards have shown up and joined in the drinking.
Hell yeah!
Great.
I'm gonna roll
Drunk apes.
thing real fast. Just gonna roll this. Yeah, Cole has a little bit, but not too much.
Okay. Yeah. So you're drinking a little bit, and they're like, since Carrie's the only one to understand them, they're like they'll come in and be like, outsiders have good berry drink. Yes?
Sure.
Yes. Win them over with alcohol.
Yeah.
Endear us to them with the liquor.
I'm gonna roll something.
I'm sharing
here.
my alcohol, but I want one of them to arm wrestle me.
I'll wrestle you.
All right.
I want to arm wrestle me.
One of them is very shit-faced. The other is not. You drink too much berry juice. Get back on duty. I'll tell you when I drink too much berry juice.
Wait, he drank too much, so you want him back on duty? I fucking love this place.
Are they speaking Elvish or are they speaking ape?
They're speaking ape.
Yeah, so you don't understand.
Well, you can translate, but you can
I'm
understand.
translating
Yeah.
badly. Can I, like, try to mime for one of them to arm wrestle me?
Sure.
I want to arm wrestle an ape.
Give me a, I don't know, persuasion attempt, I'll say. And I'll give them an insight bonus to understand what you're trying to tell them.
That's valid. That's a 9.
Okay. Let's see here. Rolling with some disadvantage here. You strange one. On duty. Worry about doing whatever is you're asking to do on off duty. Not quite sure.
Oh, this is what I need a translator for my translations.
Maybe I can make a machine to do this.
Kaz, you want to arm wrestle me?
Yes!
Nice.
Is this athletics?
Sure. Yes.
5.
Carry.
Not much better.
We both rolled a 3.
Mm-hmm. But one of you is +9.
One of us is very strong.
Yes.
That's me. Hi.
You have strange contest of strength. Not ape contest of strength. In great ring.
Do they have a battle arena?
What kind of ring?
I want to fight in this arena.
I don't know if you should fight in the arena.
Bold of you to assume that'll stop me.
You might not be drunk enough yet.
I have more alcohol.
I might have drank the rest of the alcohol.
You didn't drink mine. My special unopened bottles that I've had
okay.
for literal months.
Okay, well, number 1, that might be vinegar at this point. Number 2, that's never stopped you before.
Which? The vinegar alcohol or the alcohol in general?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, you're right.
Claude, you're the outside perspective here. Are we making good decisions?
I'm not here.
No, not Claude. Cole. Too many C names. We went over this last time.
Right, as long as I get paid, you can do whatever you want.
He's on board.
Hey, Marcus, what do you think?
Shit. It's still pointing, but it's like pointing up at the sky now. It's on his back.
Maybe you should arm wrestle the squirrel.
The squirrel is like shit-faced beyond belief.
If Marmaduke points at me, I'm eating him.
No, you're not. He's my best friend.
I thought I was your best friend.
I could have multiple best friends. We've
If
gone
you're
over.
replacing me with a squirrel, I'm definitely eating him.
The squirrel is now vomiting severely.
I've never done that.
Yes, you have.
Shut up.
I need to get another list of M names up.
Can't prove it.
You can
Carrion.
Where's
Marcel,
Hey,
Ginger?
Marcel.
Maverick, are you alive?
Shit.
Hey,
I
Kaz,
think-
do you have anything to help my poor friend?
I have salt and pepper.
I can and will string you up by your toes and flay you alive.
Ah.
Can you replace your skin?
I'll replace your skin.
I don't know if I want to waste a 2nd level spell on killing a squirrel of drunkenness.
Oh my god! I somewhere that needs to be a quote. I don't know if I want to use the 2nd level spell to cure a squirrel of drunkenness. Oh god.
It's just technically lesser restoration would do it. But it's a fucking squirrel.
But you're going to probably be resting
No.
tonight.
Ate my goddamn squirrel.
Fine. Only to prove I'm the better man. I cast lesser restoration on Marcel the squirrel.
Well, I mean, like, he's tired, but he's less drunk, for sure.
Okay, he's just gonna be unconscious, I guess.
I mean, that sounds pretty good to me right now. McCoy? Okay. I should really learn his name.
I think it's Manuel.
Maxim?
Manuel.
Milton.
Mardy.
Monopoly.
Malcolm.
In the middle?
Morris.
Minnie.
Morrissey.
Dreyfus?
John Morrissey, actually.
Oh, Dreyfus.
Melbourne.
Melbourne?
He's Australia?
Yes, he's the entire continent of Australia.
Milwaukee.
Minnesota.
Mississippi.
All right.
Minneapolis.
At a point in time, the group of them will be like beyond shit-faced to kind of fall over. Cole, you are like, I mean, like, Kaz is probably okay. Carrion the squirrel are like going unconscious at some point in time. One of the gorillas is outside snoring, and the other one is kind of like leaning on Kaz's head.
I'm probably flopped back, at least leaning on Carrion's unconscious body.
Yeah.
Am I like being kept in this room, or can I like go outside? Am I stuck here with a bunch of unconscious people?
Honestly, you don't know. Like, up until now, it seemed like you were sort of under house arrest, but now there really isn't anybody watching the door anymore, and you never tried to leave.
Okay, Cole will just make sure that none of them drowned in their own puke. I'll be the designated trip sitter for this, I guess.
There'll be a bonus for you. How's that?
I'll roll everyone onto their side so they don't drown in their puke.
I've been the designated one before. I am sorry, but
You like you move the squirrel over to its side.
Like roll the squirrel over slightly.
At least you're not the one talking to a deranged psychopath in his head.
You know, I've got other psychopaths I have to deal with.
Listen, I already had my turn. Now it's your turn.
I talked to yours as well, and it wasn't fun.
Talk to yours as well too.
Actually, I've talked to both of yours.
Party. Wait, you've talked to my grandfather?
No, not your grandfather. Didn't I?
No,
you didn't.
I spoke to her grandfather.
Right, you
'Cause
spoke
I
to your
went in her
grandfather.
head.
But I did
Yeah.
speak to yours, Claude. And, he's
Claude.
a dick.
You didn't invite
Yeah.
me to the party, so I can't speak to yours.
I didn't know this was going to be happening.
Neither did
It's a
I!
brain party, and everyone's invited. Except
I've talked to him twice now. And both times he was an asshole to me.
Yes. But now he's giving you kudos.
I don't care. I don't want his kudos.
Well, too bad. You got him.
I'm gonna kick his ass.
You mean my ass?
Yeah, if it comes to it. Again, if it comes to it, I'm pretty sure you want me to do that.
Unfortunately, his ass is my ass.
Yeah, if he takes over your body, I'm pretty sure you want me to kick his ass. At least to pound it back into goo form, where hopefully you can regain control. Or die.
Both.
And if I remember, death is one of the things you want to happen.
Was. That was my original goal. I got over that. Now I'm wondering if I should have got over that.
Now my original goal was to live forever. Now it's just to live a really long time.
I had made peace with most of me. The problem is this thing is still there. If I could rip it out,
And if not, I'll just kill it. It's fine.
so we switch back after that little bit interesting thing for Claude to come back to
I
Claude.
didn't drink all the alcohol.
They
Alright,
probably
Cole still got his supply.
We still have some on the boat.
Because Claude's going to need some after this.
Well, my creation, ask away. Access my grand knowledge that may assist you on your quest.
Why did you create me?
As I said, I was ordered to. I was given instructions on a number of projects that I would be handling. You were just merely one of about a dozen projects that were under my purview. I was sent from Phyrexia to Rath to assist there was about a dozen of us, scientists sent to work, and experiment. You see, there was only so much we could do in Phyrexia. It was hard sending agents out to various locations. Setting up things like laboratories or places where one could study materials outside of Phyrexia ended up being quite challenging. Not impossible, but challenging to a good degree. This required us to be creative, and in many ways, it did require us to bring subjects back. But there's a limited ability to bring subjects back, too. To learn, to advance Phyrexian science. So...
More to the point, what was my purpose?
Assassin. That would be the quickest way of saying it. But really, your purpose was to create an all-purpose mimic. You see, it was originally twofold. One for infiltration processes. You see, if I create a creation that could assimilate a being, learn all of its memories, its mannerisms, and then mimic it, well, it's a perfect infiltrator, isn't it not? That was the original reasoning behind Phyrexia's interest. But Volrath had a different idea of what he wanted to develop. So, and because I was under his purview, it didn't matter as long as I stuck to the original purview to the most part, I still had to go by him. I could not break the original purpose of it, an infiltrator, but he wanted something two-kin, something that could perhaps also assassinate his opponents, or enemies within Rath itself. He feared losing control, but also he wanted to create perhaps something to function as a body double. Volrath was a shapeshifter himself. And so, creating another shapeshifter, one that could perhaps assimilate a portion of him, a echo, and learn to be like him, was one of the goals. Now, I did develop something that was a lesser mimic, but it wasn't quite as in-depth as what my plans were with you. It's just that things weren't going up to snuff, so to say, in my experimentations with your development. I was having issues. You are flawed for the original purpose that you were created for. Granted, I do see now that those flaws have accidentally created something perhaps greater. If you had been properly trained in Phyrexian, under Phyrexians, you would have been an excellent assassin, may I note, an excellent infiltrator, one that perhaps could have had all the proper markings for what was wanted, without some of the issues. There were some problems that could have been arised from the nature of your creation, but I believe your lack of influence from Phyrexia is really what led to your full development as what you are now. You are a being that has... weaknesses to you. Weaknesses that, as a Phyrexian scientist, I've gone beyond. Unfortunately, there are those amongst, well, there were amongst my people that certainly would have shared your weaknesses, passions, emotions, connections. When you live in an area where life means less than you'd think, then you don't respect it the way that you respect it. I understand your respect of life. It's an odd thing, but it's not something that's really in my nature. Not from where I come from. The world Yawgmoth created was quite different from this one. Now, I'm not saying I've changed my ways. Oh, no. But I understand. I certainly could play along. I don't need to do a lot of the things I did. But yes, so your creation ends up being a little bit of an accident, a little bit of plans of higher-ups, and giving the reins to a scientist who's using all of their techniques to try to develop something. You were... Well, you weren't the first experiment I worked on. I worked through dozens before I came to you, and at your time, as I said, there was perhaps another dozen I was working on at that time. The project which created Maxwell, yours. A sentient sword which could infiltrate the mind of the user and take it over. That was an interesting one. It was cursed in such a way that it would reach tendrils of flowstone into the user and supplant parts of its nervous system in order to control it. Never put it down again, but also, you'd be under our control. That one was not very... well, it had mixed results of success.
What about those that have been bothering us?
Yes. You're worried that they're Phyrexia, yes?
I'm worried that they're either Phyrexian in nature or are seeking what your people left behind.
Oh, I can understand them quite well from everything you've encountered. They are not Phyrexian in nature. They are Rathian in nature. That is the trick. Though Rath is Phyrexia, they survived because some of them I recognize.
Which ones?
Grell. Grell was a unique being. He is Mog, but granted with a mind far outweighing his own. He was a fluke at the time. He ended up being a mechanist assistant, and eventually was shipped off to Phyrexia because of his genius with mechanics. He was back in the tower at the time of its fall, working on various projects. I suspect that Mog managed to survive the fall of the tower. There were bigger fish to fry. I wasn't alive at the time, of course, as you would know. But Grell is effectively, well, since he's replaced most of his important weak points with mechanics, he certainly will outlive many of your kin. Not sure about the demon, but your goblin friend, if he doesn't replace more of his parts, certainly would outlive. And of course, Altia, she's quite recognizable. You know, that's an interesting one. A converted Saren angel. A very powerful one, too. Yawgmoth had such glee creating that thing.
That is the one that we met in the forest, then.
Yes. She is not one to be trifled with. I'm sure she's quite upset with the death of her father. But after a few hundred years, I don't know what her mindset would be at this point in time, if she's had the time to process what has occurred. It certainly seems like, from her words, someone had convinced her of something that has given her purpose. I suspect she survived because, well, she stayed behind in Phyrexia. When Yawgmoth would have exited Phyrexia, he wouldn't have wanted to leave the place to chance, so he left his personal guardian, his strongest warrior, behind. It's only the most logical sense of what to occur, in order for Phyrexia to protect the homeland, so to say. Just in case the twisted mind of Urza had another plan in mind.
Who was her father?
Her real parent is probably Sarah, but her father, as you would say, is Yawgmoth himself. It was he who was in charge of her completion. she was completed before my time. So of course I knew about her.
What of the others?
Ah. Well, what do you have? You have something that is akin to a sliver, but not a sliver. Of course, he seems to be a sliver that is unusual. He is a planeswalker, which is also very unusual, but there's something different about him. I believe he is not a full sliver the way that we think about it. If someone was experimenting on slivers, which was something that was discussed and attempted a few times in amongst the tower. Unfortunately, slivers were difficult to work with in our time period, and it seems as though, from the brief history I have learned of you from this realm, there were other attempts to work on them. But if I had more knowledge, I could assume what came to his creation. Or if he's even from this realm, perhaps slivers are not just home to Rath. They must have come from somewhere else, but we don't know where we drew them in from originally. The original creation of Rath and the creatures that were drawn into it were a little random at first, before things stabilized in the plane and we began to gather beings to the plane. The hope was to create some form of initial army there, which we did, to a degree, for the initial wave of the invasion to assist in it, when Rath integrated with Dominaria. So, of course, let us see here. There's also the core, and of course the Ildal. Those are very interesting folks, too. Their kinds... From the knowledge that you've gained, I wouldn't have thought they would have succeeded in crossing the barriers the same way they did. The shadow effect seems to be more limited on them than it does in others, which is unique. I suspect that the core may have very little of the shadow effect in him whatsoever. He, from the description given by your ally, used some of object to supplement his powers. Right, on the other hand, seems pure Ildal. What others are involved with? Well, that's hard to say. There are a few others that could have survived. A list of about 24 names. And there are those that I don't know the result of. But someone is using the name of my old tormentor. Whoever's going by Vul is trying to take on Volrath's mantle. From your mind, I know Volrath was not in charge of Rath at the time of the fall. That means he's either dead or was imprisoned. I don't know which one it was. But even if he died, perhaps some of those experiments that we were working on created something unique. A body double that might function as a real thing. Or maybe he successfully used one of those body doubles to fake his death and ran away. I don't know. Is it the real Volrath? Or was someone just attempting to take up his mantle? But the name Vul, I'm one that knows many things about my masters. And before Volrath was completed, his name was Vul. So that tells you, someone is using that name for a reason.
What of this mechanical dragon?
Ah, an ancient creation of Mishra. Mishra's such an interesting one. He was unfortunate that he didn't take to completion, much like many of the others. I wonder if when Urza infiltrated Phyrexia, he met with him. That would have been a curious reaction, seeing your brother you thought dead and you thought you were murdered by your own hands. But no. The knowledge of Mishra's dragons was something that he developed using ancient technology of, our predecessor, of Yawgmoth and his original people. He mimicked their technologies and built it something greater. I'm sure this dragon is formidable, but it's just that. It's probably very primitive in comparison to some other things. Probably relies on brute strength to a great degree to cause its destruction and death. Probably size, too.
Do you know a way to power it off?
That would be difficult. I'm assuming he's using power cores. Original power cores, ones that are quite unstable. Your friend Kaz has certainly already learned that the power cores as we know them were, well, not very safe for basic organics. That is why completion was such a great thing. It gave us immunity as to the after effects of power cores, meaning we'd use them without worry. The oil deep within our veins protected us. You would be resistant to the effects of a power core, meaning that you are one of the very few that could perhaps try to access whatever power core it's using. But I would assume on a beast that size, it either would be quite large or a network of them. Very difficult to remove either way once you directly access it. Since it seems that creature's size is, I assume, fortress-sized, a moving fortress, something that deadly and dangerous, there would be inner workings for accessing its inner being, but damaging it enough at your size would be difficult. And I'm sure there's already security systems in place. Probably lesser golems, maybe traps that it could activate, or maybe even if it uses something akin to fire breath, it could just heat up its body on the inside and just burn everything inside to a crisp. But you theoretically could access its insides.
I was distracted enough. That might give me a chance.
Yes. Of course, you would be the easiest to find your crack in the way into the cracks with your abilities. Your friends, well, if they found the way in, they could follow you too. But again, at very least, Kazzrann and, well, any others that you would take with them, you would fail the effects of it. Miss Carrie, I believe, might be still immune to it. Her demonic bloodline would probably mitigate, if not give her true immunity, to the effects of the power core. Enough that she could survive it for certainly small periods, but I'm unsure if long-term it would have any actual damaging effects. I've never experimented with demons, with fiends, not to that degree. The fiend I used to create you was, well, strong, but it certainly wasn't of the caliber of your compatriot. I think a greater demon would have spawn with a mortal. I wonder what she'd be like completed. I'm sure quite strong. Maybe even stronger than your angel friend.
I think we've seen a taste of,
well,
what she would be like.
Yes. Well, there were Phyrexian demons, but very few, if any, could be called the caliber of Belzenlock. There are very few greater demons that exist in the multiverse. And once they are born, they are, well, hard to deal with. So, that is perhaps one way you could deal with it. Or I'm sure it has enough mind you could attempt to negotiate with it. But would you be able to understand what mind wants? It is a machine, one that hasn't had its creator for countless eons. What is it thinking? What is it wanting when it wakes up? Is it just listening to its original orders? Was it thinking something else? Is a mind quite alien to yours? Perhaps your little friend Kazzrann could understand it. Of course, I could attempt to negotiate for you.
I don't think the others would agree to that.
They are quite hesitant on my presence, and I understand that. But you forget. I'm trying to make a little bit of amends with you, my creation. I understand my place is very precarious in the hierarchy of things. As much as I would like to be free, I don't think I could ever be free and be free while you are present. Let me put it that way. Two minds, one body would always be difficult. Even if I could replace you, I'd always have to worry about you replacing me back. And, as I said, there are a few others that I've become now aware of that might be a little less friendly with me being in charge. But I could be in charge temporarily. You could give me permission to go there. Watch over me and decide when it's time for me to return. I could do my job. And then we could talk about something a little bit more permanent. As I said, I'm currently thinking about nothing more than vengeance. And you already have one person who's used our technology in a lock and key. I wouldn't be against going into much more... perhaps a house arrest. I leave you. You find me a new body. You find your nice friends at the college to watch over me. And I assist you in taking care of some of the mistakes left behind by my people. And then I can assist you on gaining vengeance. See, more my vengeance, your justice, if you will. But...
that would require some conversations with my friends.
Of course. And I must do much to earn the trust of this. I can't just say that I'll do it. That's why perhaps giving me that chance. You can easily contact me. Just a thought. And we could always switch. But it will be up to you. You merely have to take my form, and I will come in.
I will speak to my compatriots.
Excellent. And inform them if they have questions that they would need answered about this. Perhaps I could continue to assist them, too. I could answer some things that they have. It would be a chance for me to break down and perhaps help your friend Kaz understand some of the technologies that he has been working on, advance his own, give him suggestions on things that could improve his work. I mean, every great artificer loves to improve what they have.
Do you know anything about the flight ships?
Oh, of course. It wasn't my specialty, but I did have plenty of conversations with those. I actually was associated with one of the scientists who worked on developing the engines for the Predator. Now, I wouldn't be a perfect expert on it, but I have enough to give a rudimentary knowledge of perhaps repairing its system. And some of the other systems in it. I was not a fool. I became familiar with plenty of information. It's always good to expand your horizons and broaden them. Even while working on your own developments, one must always be learning.
Technology can surprisingly mix with another.
You see, the engines of the Predator were unique as they were... I wouldn't call them quite organic. Organic-like. They were based upon organic systems, built out of flowstone originally, and enhanced with Phyrexian technologies to create the original engine system that it was. Your friend's little gear is in fact part of the main control system. It's part of the system that allows for initiation of the reaction inside of it. Granted, you could probably initiate the reaction without the gear, but it'd be a little bit more difficult and perhaps dangerous. Your control system, you want to be able to keep it in check and keep it going. And if your friend wants to build a skyship of his own using some form of engines equivalent to the Predator's, it's not... Something like the Weatherlight uses something a little different. I believe it uses, from the knowledge you have and from my own analysis, a seed of energy. A seed whose energy I can recognize now in your own body. It's interesting to see that it was there. To think that leftover from Urza was around. I didn't know that's what happened to it. I'm surprised the angels let them have it. They must really enjoy your little friends in the Weatherlight's ship. You see, the heart of that ship is the fallen plane of Sarah. When we invaded it, Urza destroyed it. We thought it was lost. To think he embedded it in something. An entire fallen plane. How many angels and humanoids did he murder to create that thing? Impossible to say. But it's incredibly powerful. That explains why it won. Who would have thought a weapon like that hiding, using an entire plane in order to defeat us, was a genius idea. I wouldn't have thought of it. I don't think anybody would have, collapsing a plane like that. The damage it can cause the multiverses. Well, even my master Yawgmoth was not crazy enough to do something like that.
Urza was never seems to be one in their right mind.
No, it was desperation. We were already invading this world by the time his war started. He brought us back. Did you know that? If it wasn't for Urza, we would have never found Dominaria again. Him and his brother's little war brought us back. I guess that's why he felt like he must fight us to the end. It's truly fascinating. You really should read more about it. I would love to analyze more of these kind of strange interactions, and especially your time at the college was invigorating. Learning so much there, diving into the history of Dominaria. History I didn't know until now. Combining that with my own knowledge, well, I could advance things, especially quite distantly. Using your matrix, I could create something a little bit more benign. You see, your flowstone matrix is similar to that of the Phyrexian oil that originally made up my blood, but it is more refined in a way. Or at least maybe less mana-driven. If I could create something like that, rather than just having a simple mana profile of black mana, we could create Phyrexians, or something akin to it, that would be of any mana. I could find new ways to gain strength and immortality to others. It's really fascinating concepts. The idealism of completion was to make you the best being you could be. Unfortunately, just dealing with black mana, well, it means there's only so much you can do. Maybe that's another reason that we went wrong. Certainly, Dominaria has its histories of invaders and wars. Another war might have not meant anything, especially if the changes were more subtle, less invasive. Then it's just another conquest. There were many things that perhaps Yawgmoth did wrong. And since he's not here, I can speak up against him. It's freeing, being yourself. But nonetheless, as much as I would love for some version of Phyrexia to still exist, it's not in my wheelhouse to do that. No. Vengeance, that is in my wheelhouse. And it's up for others to decide if my knowledge could be used for good or evil, as you would say it. but I would give them the opportunity to use it for either.
Well, these are food. This is all food for thought.
It isn't.
I will talk to my friends.
Well then, Master Gorilla, I believe that you have sent your high creation here on a path to speak with another of your kind and perhaps use his influence as a strength. I believe you said he was a king of none. So, a lone king with a kingdom without any citizens, but of great strength and respected by his others. A fascinating being. And then the dragons. Good luck to you, my creation. I would hate for us to find an end before we can come to some form of agreement.
Indeed.
You will wake up, and the girls will be there. Outsider, you've awakened. We have spoken with our ancestors. Your decision is with merit, but they warn against any kind of activities that would be damaging to our people or cause us threats. It would be ill-advised. I apologize that we perhaps may not be able to assist you on your quest.
I do have one question for you.
Go ahead.
The one being the one soul inside me seems to be aware of much that happens that I do.
If you are made up of more than one spirit, I'm sure in whatever form they are, they all sense what you are doing. They are all you. But since I cannot sense a true soul in you, a true spirit in you, soulless one, I can only guess that none of them are strong enough to be one. And if there is one that is stronger, that is separate, he is hidden, whether by himself or by you, hidden away.
My question is, can you suggest any technique that if I wish to keep something from it, that I could?
That is a difficult thing. One of many souls is a rarity. It has happened in the past where an ape is born with more than one soul, but it often results in the body and the mind being broken. More than one soul in a body is a very dangerous thing. From knowledge that was passed down to me from my shaman ancestors, I can say the only times that were able to survive were coexistence, which meant sharing at all times. Otherwise, there was fights for control. But you are different. You are unique, soulless one. You were a great vessel for the spirits of our ancestors to have conversations with them, for those we summoned. But for yourself, you would have to learn to not hide away the spirit, but to lock away, to keep in a box, in a chest in your mind. Maybe then you could keep it from understanding. But I do not know if you have enough soul to do that. Perhaps you must learn more must develop your own soul more to compete. I'm sorry I could not be more of help with that question.
Thank you for the advice, though. There is one last thing I would ask. Do you know where we can find Grunt?
Where did you learn that name?
One of your ancestors.
While others spoke with us, one spoke with you. Interesting.
He seemed to be your progenitor.
An ancient of our kind. Grun is a powerful of our kind. Strongest with the ancestors. He has mastered ancestor magics of both a chieftain and a shaman. Something very, very few have ever done. He is also an accomplished warrior, unparalleled in his might and strength. But, in his arrogance, he found that the ancestral spirits which protect him and give him strength were the only ones that he needed. He traveled north, away from us, found his own land in Yavimaya, and has become king of it. Or so he says. None may enter his territory. Grun is alone. A lonely king of his own territory.
If you could point us in the direction your ancestors sent us there. It's not just to seek him.
I can give you directions. But be warned, Grun would not take kindly to your kind. He takes kindly to no visitors. If you'd wish to speak with him, it would be difficult.
Would it matter if we showed him a token that we received? Oh God, my brain is dead from names.
Multani?
Multani, thank you. From Multani.
I do not know. Grun became such a powerful warrior that he left us, went out as his own. He finds none worthy, except for those ancestral spirits that have given him his strength. If indeed the progenitor gave you a name, you might be the only one that could communicate with him. If he sensed a progenitor, ape, that his spirit had given you a blessing. His shamanic powers should be enough to do so. You might get lucky if you lead the way. He might not believe you worthy, but perhaps you could find words with him before he would drive you from his territory. I do not know how well your words would work on him, though.
Does he speak the language of the elves?
He speaks many languages, all taught to him by the ancestors. Though the language of the elves is the one that our people now learn to communicate with the closest one. There are a few in some scattered tribes who have learned the languages of the outsiders, like your one friend, the tall one, not the short one. They share similarities to the shamans of the south. Yes?
Yes.
He would know the language of the shamans in the south.
I just wanted to make sure we would have a way to communicate.
The question is whether he would answer you. not whether or not he would understand.
That is a risk we must take. I trust if the spirit of your progenitors sends us there, it is with a reason.
Spirits of our ancestors do many things for many reasons. We ask them for advice, we seek wisdom for them, and great strength in them. They protect us. But they also can be difficult to understand, and difficult to convince to help when the case is not for the greater of our people, and might be for something a little less grandiose.
All I can do is try. This is the mission that we're on.
If you could convince Grun to help us, we could see it as a sign to unite our people in a way that hasn't been happened for a few hundred years. Though we are at peace and the tribes are as one, there are still difficulties amongst the chieftains. The council is not always united. That is why the High Chieftain must be given proper respect and words. It does not mean that conflicts could not arise. Grun is one that could have been a High Chieftain if he had remained in amongst us. So perhaps, if he would join you, the rest would too. You may have a chance.
That is what we will do next. If it is okay, I would like to rejoin my friends, rest a bit, and then start our travel.
Of course. I will inform your keepers that when you wish to leave, they will accompany you to the edge of our territory. I will have them accompany you to the area closest to Grun's territory.
Thank you.
Alright. You'll head back to the others, and you'll be accompanied by one of the other shamans, who will only accompany you part of the way, and then let you kind of go on your own the rest of the way, as you know the way. Seemingly having a little bit of trust for you, but there is definitely you get the sense there's eyes on you as you travel, like you're being watched.
I would expect nothing less.
Mm-hmm. It just seems as like every gorilla or every ape that's on their business just has some eyes towards you at the same time.
Yeah, that I'm not surprised at. We're strangers in this land, and you're going to, even if we're giving some modicum of, freedom here, we're still going to be watched.
Yeah. When you get back to where you've been staying, you will see that one of the guards is missing, and the other one seems to be asleep at the entrance.
We'll just walk past him.
The other guard is kind of lying around, loafing in a heap, kind of leaning against you. Kind of like the drunk leaning against each other is Kaz, Carrie, and an ape. While Cole is just sitting there kind of watching and making sure none of them throw up on themselves. Including a squirrel, which looks very drunk, too.
Oh, did I miss some sort of party while I was gone?
Well, remember how, I guess, this one said no more drugs or alcohol? That didn't last very long.
I don't think they ever said no alcohol.
Yes, I believe it was technically just no more drugs, and we did not partake in the smoke leaf. I'm conscious, I promised.
Well, that's fine. I'm going to rest/meditate for a little bit. We have a journey to take.
Oh.
I will catch you up once I wake back up.
Okay, we might be hungover.
Sleep it off. We got a lot to talk about.
Oh, good, great.
Okay. Well, you will rest and recover, and I mean, I'm gonna say like probably Kaz. You're not like super hungover. You're feeling awful, but you're not like super awful. Carrie, you're just not great, feeling great. Honestly, you if it wasn't for the fact that, you know, I believe, were you immune to the poison condition? Yeah, if you weren't immune to that, you'd have the poison condition. You were so hungover. Like, you feel as though, like, your own demonic bloodline is keeping you from being really terrible. The squirrel is like, you don't know, it's like, it's just sitting there, like, making weird noises, kind of like there. And by the time you awaken, the gorilla has left.
Could I... Would a lesser restoration fix the hangover?
I think we've said yes, it would.
Carrion, I'm willing to fix your hangover.
Aren't you usually the one that says hangovers are like my curse, because that's why?
That's before I decided to join in on the chaos. That is the old Kaz.
Not to mention, we have a lot to talk about.
This is the new fun Kaz.
I can be drunk and also fine.
Okay, but now you're hungover and not fine.
I can be hungover and fine.
I don't think you can.
I can, in fact, be hungover and fine at the same time.
Alright, then I won't waste the spell slot. But
Yeah,
the
don't waste
offer
the spell
stands.
slot on me. I'm not gonna, like, have anything bad happen if I don't, right?
Right,
Like, I won't have disadvantage or shit.
That would be if you had the poison condition.
Yeah. And I'm not poisoned, so I'm fine.
No.
I can live with the consequences of my life.
In fact, there is only one other being here that does not have the poison condition because of failed saves, and that's a squirrel.
That's because I fixed that.
Yeah, you fixed that ahead of time. It's not feeling great, but it doesn't have the poison condition, technically. It just doesn't feel good. It's making weird noises.
I would like to say Kazzrann exercised great restraint in not eating Marston.
He's still pointing in random directions.
John Marston? John Marston is here?
John Marston, the cowboy, is here.
Who's in scroll 4. Someone, please, if there's an image of that John Marston from Red Dead as a squirrel.
The internet has got to be right.
Well, I definitely wanted to find out.
As I'm meditating, Tantus,
Mm-hmm.
I want to focus on trying to keep my thoughts as private as possible.
Okay. You'll try to concentrate on that, but I'm gonna be honest, it's sort of like one of those things is like, you haven't sensed him being there to begin with, you know, really.
Yeah.
You sensed him, he was there, but was he watching? You didn't really know. So it's sort of like, you're beginning to explore. You didn't realize he knew as much as he did.
Yeah. But that's going to be my goal from not for a while now. When I rest / meditate, I'm going to be doing that.
Well, there you go. It's like Squirrel John Marston. I'll take it. Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
That's a thing. Thanks, Internet.
We have a lot to talk about.
I think it's legit. I think the cowboy squirrel is from the video games, the Red Dead Redemption. So, what happened?
Well, we have a new mission, for one.
Cool.
We need to seek out Rath. He is a king of his own land with no people. He is also a chieftain and a shaman.
Kind of a shitty king, huh, if you don't have people.
He is still very respected and is a great warrior, and no one normally enters his lands.
Okay.
Sounds right up our alley, I'm gonna be honest.
Sure.
I spoke to the progenitor spirit of the gorillas, or the apes.
They are
Normal
technically
time,
gorillas,
sounds
but I call them apes. I'm trying to be like,
Yeah.
well, they are
Just
gorillas.
normal things people do, yes.
In our world, yeah, it's normal.
Unfortunately, it is pretty average for us. I tried to be sarcastic and it didn't work.
Yes, he is the one who suggested we seek out Grun. Grun is the last of his line. Also, I had a conversation with you-know-who inside me.
Oh, that fucker.
Join the I have an evil person inside of me and I talk to him in my head club. There's only 2 of us now.
Yes. I've gotten some information on the people that we're after.
Okay.
We are not sure, but Vul is either my creator's previous master or someone who took on the mantle of Volrath.
Bad.
The sliver one is a planeswalker.
Bad.
And possibly an experiment on Phyrexian experiment on slivers.
He
Still bad.
didn't say Phyrexian, he said someone else's.
Oh, someone else's experiment. Sorry,
Phyrexian,
on
yeah.
slivers, not Phyrexian.
Phyrexians didn't have very good results, is what he said.
Right. Sorry.
Still bad.
Also, the angel that we found in the forest, that found us in the forest, is a former Sarah angel that was Yawgmoth's guardian.
Bad. I feel like I'm just gonna keep saying bad every time.
Yes.
And I don't think any of the news is gonna be good.
Also, I learned something about the Weatherlight. The heart of the Weatherlight that powers it is apparently the fallen plane of Sarah.
I feel like that one's bad too.
Yeah. Apparently, why is my brain dying today? Urza, thank you. Apparently, Urza may have destroyed Sarah's plane to use it.
So yes, bad. I should check in real quick. Cole, are you okay with learning all this weird information? This is like a lot for your first time with all of us.
Well, it's okay. I don't understand like half the words you've said, but if you keep this up, we're going to need to renegotiate payment because I definitely did not agree to a death angel.
To be fair, I didn't either.
I don't think anyone did.
No.
No.
Well, Yawgmoth did, but he's dead.
A few other things. I found out more information, possibly on the dragon. It most likely is empowered by ancient power cores.
Want that?
And because of my nature, I would be immune to the radiation of those. Possibly Carrion might be as well. I might be able to... No, you're too fleshy.
Also, like, Kaz, I'm gonna say, if as soon as he says power cores, you realize either has to be a gigantic power core, or, as the guy said, a lot of them. Which would also mean it's probably pumping out a lot of energy, and probably really dangerous to be in there, unless you have some kind of protection. right away.
Okay.
Probably the people that were in there either succumbed to the effects of power core radiation or died before they could notice it, honestly. Mm-hmm.
My possible thought is if we could distract it, I might be able to, either just me or Carrion and I might be able to get inside and disable the cores.
Alternately.
Does disable mean destroy?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Well,
Because
the
I'm
only
good at
thing
that.
is, wouldn't that cause a massive explosion?
Unless no, an explosion bad in this case, I think.
Oh, why?
Unless
I wasn't listening.
complete disintegration of it. Duster box.
There's also another alternative. It wants to be able to spread its light now and then. My creator.
You creator. That motherfucker. That racist piece of shit.
He wants to try, he says, to make amends. His ultimate goal is possibly to try to talk to the college and see if there's a way for him to be extracted out of me into his own body, or a recreation of his body. He, on trying to make better terms with everyone, said he would be willing to try to negotiate with the creature. I don't know how much I can believe this.
I don't know if we can trust him. Because here's the thing, right? In order to let him negotiate, we have to let him, like, take over your whole everything, right?
Well, there's two things with that. One, the way I would be able to let him out would be to take on his form. But as he had pointed out to me, and so far has been true, anytime he has gotten out, I have been able to take over.
Okay, every time he's gotten out, he's been very mean to me specifically.
He actually complimented you.
Oh.
He says you have great potential. That he could also offer some suggestions on things that you have been working on. And he does know a decent amount about the engines to the Predator.
Don't make me conflicted.
Including the gear specifically is the initiator of the reaction of the engines. And the engines were originally flowstone and based partially on the organic.
Oh, don't tempt me with knowledge that I want. That's very cruel.
I'm not fond of this thing either. But if I am the dominant one in this body, using its knowledge for our goals might be okay to a point. The main thing it wants is revenge on Vol.
Well, we all want revenge on one of them at least. Or I do.
I
I
just
don't-
like violence.
Yes, you just like violence, which is
I just
useful.
want to mitigate them as a threat.
Okay, well, I want revenge on the one who stole my shit.
If
Okay.
we agree to let him possibly try to negotiate, I would ask you to keep a close eye on me.
I was going to say, the condition that I would put in place is that we need to watch him the entire time for any sort of trick that he might pull.
Agreed. Even though I will give him this much, he even said, and take this with what it is, coming from where it's coming from, if eventually he could get his own body from the college, that he'd even permit himself to be under lock and key and offer his knowledge to those who want it.
That makes me nervous. Being willing to be under lock and key. It makes me think that he thinks he can get out. I don't trust this individual.
Neither do I.
Especially
I'm
because
very-
do you know what else is under lock and key at the college?
Yes, I do.
So much Phyrexian shit. Fuck, I wasn't supposed to say that in front of strangers.
Also,
Cold, you didn't hear that.
anything
So
you
much.
don't want him to know, for now, I would not let me be around when you discuss it.
Fuck, but I like saying things to you.
He seems to be aware of a lot, if not all, of what goes on.
That's going to be hard. I tend to ramble.
That's why I'm saying if there's anything specific you don't want him to know. I would ask me to, remove myself during that conversation. I'm trying to learn with my meditations if there's a way I can block him for things to keep him out from knowing everything, but I don't know yet if there is.
Okay. This is complicated.
Yeah, how do you think it is for me?
No, I know. Fuck.
I gotta watch what I think now.
I love the way to say that. Watch what I think.
I don't want to be in this exclusive club of you and Carrion. I've
Well,
decided.
Well,
See, here's the thing. You have to think about what you think and like censor your own thoughts. I don't even censor what I say at this point, so
You don't have to worry about your grandfather taking over your body.
I think we might have to worry about that.
a little bit, but not as much.
Not as easily.
And not in the
as
way of yours.
Cole, I'm
He
going to
can
increase your hazard pay.
He can influence you, it seems, but not necessarily control you.
well, you
Where-
three certainly are the second most interesting people I've traveled with.
The
You know what? I'll
second?
take it.
There's
I don't
worse
want to
than
know
us?
who's worse.
Well, my wife's a druid and my daughter's a witch, so
You have a kid?
I do have a
Who's
kid.
a witch?
The fuck?
Yeah.
Can I
No.
feed your daughter?
Well,
Oh god! Keep your daughter away from that woman!
Don't let Carrie meet your daughter. She'll try to sleep with her.
Wait, how old is the
Try is an
daughter? Wait,
operative
wait.
Wait,
How
yeah.
old is the daughter?
She's 24.
Okay,
Don't
yeah.
try
Yeah,
to
Carrion's
sleep
going
with
to
her.
try to sleep with your daughter. I'm sorry.
I'm honestly, it wouldn't surprise me from what I've seen.
That you try to sleep with your daughter, or that your daughter be a...
Well, I
What
don't
are my
know.
chances with your offspring?
I'm.
Can we not? It's very weird to ask someone.
It's not the weirdest thing I've asked someone before, I'm gonna be honest.
That's
That one
unfortunate.
doesn't surprise me.
Somewhere deep within your minds, you're like, has Carrie replaced Nim?
I've always been worse than Nim. What are you talking about?
You
My
wanted to
entire
create a
plan of
harem.
ruling Urborg is through a harem of beautiful women.
That was yeah.
Yeah.
Her goal is to create a harem.
Yeah,
Beautiful, competent women.
that can control
Beautiful
things
women who
for
step on
her,
me.
so that she doesn't have to control things.
Carrie doesn't want to control anything. Carrie's a fucking
Carrie doesn't
bottom.
even want to
Technically-
control herself.
Technically, it's a harem of beautiful women and Kaz.
And Kaz, yeah. Kaz is the leader of the Sky Military.
I'm an admiral.
Mhm.
Okay. Weird revelations aside,
I'm just learning that I'm gonna fuck someone's daughter.
that's been your plan since like day one.
I mean, that's true, but I didn't know it was gonna be one of my teammates.
Okay.
Could be one of my many daughters.
Do you have children
Or-
too?
Well, some of my
I'm learning
souls.
so many things today.
Well, technically, it'd be great granddaughters probably, but
I'll take
you know that I have different souls within me, and some of them, yes, had children.
You know what? I don't want to think about the souls in your head. Fuck it.
If it helps, I have no children.
That doesn't really help all that much. I'm gonna be honest. Because
That
I'm
means you
sure.
can't sleep with his children.
I mean, you
I
could
have
have also
no
slept with
interest.
Maxwell's
Yeah, exactly.
bloodline too.
Yeah, you could have slept with someone of Maxwell's bloodline.
That would have been fucking hilarious.
You may have, you don't know.
I really kind of hope I have. That'd be so funny.
Mhm.
Okay. I think it's time to go talk to dragons, yes?
Now, first is now Grunt.
He's on the way to Dragons.
He is on the way to the dragon.
Okay, at
That's
least we don't have to
convenient.
Good. Cool.
We are going to get escorted to near his land. And I have been given directions the rest of the way. I need to take point because he's very aggressive, and I think I might be the only one who has a shot in talking to him since I talked to the ancestors.
Okay, cool.
That's
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Considering I don't understand a word anyone here says. Sure.
That's why I'm increasing your hazard pay, so you don't have to worry about understanding.
Someone
it.
really just needs
Cole's getting paid?
You did hire me.
Yes, we hired him.
I don't get paid to deal with this.
That's your
You're
fault.
part of this.
And your points?
You
You've
should
been
have
brought
asked
into this.
the ship bursar for payment. That's on you.
What?
We get a cut of whatever we make. So
I'm getting a cut of pay?
If you haven't been getting paid, you should take that up with the bursar.
What's a bursar?
They handle the finances on the ship because I knew I couldn't trust you, the quartermaster, to do that.
That's because you trusted me with something at all?
Yes, that's why you're no longer the quartermaster.
This is why I'm not allowed to rule Urborg by myself. That's why I need a harem of beautiful women.
is she now the 1/16th master?
No.
No,
Carrion.
I'm still the quartermaster. I'm just trying to learn now.
So you are going to try to learn. I was just going to put you in charge of weaponry.
That's an even worse idea.
Yes.
Okay.
That is a bad idea.
I don't see what could possibly go wrong.
Many things. That's not the point.
Many things could go wrong. So many things.
I'd
Okay,
be
I'm
like,
going-
also making it the quartermaster is a bad idea. They're in charge of all the alcohol.
I'll give you that too.
Okay. You feel a
I'll
tug
find some.
on your like leg, Carrie. Chid, chid, chid.
It's Mario.
It's him, Mario.
It's,
Hello. You're alive? You're good?
he's pointing in a direction.
We're no
What?
longer trying to find that direction. We're trying to find Run.
Mateus, we're trying to find someone else now. A
Wait.
different.
Where's Thunder?
Shit!
You know, that possibly could be the right direction. Do we know where we're going?
I do.
Last
Is that
time
the
you
right
saw
direction?
Thunder, he visited and then wandered out into the tribe.
We don't give a shit about Thunder at this point. We have the squirrel. Is the squirrel right?
Ah! No.
Michael, I think you should go back to
I
Thunder.
think we're going to be.
No, fuck you. He's mine.
The squirrel has rolled with disadvantage every time and has only gotten, well, like 3 or 4 of these times.
I think we need Thunder to get to the dragons, and we definitely need him for the notes.
We need to find Thunder. I'm
And
gonna
maybe,
But-
maybe Matthew down there can send go get Thunder.
Yeah.
But-
Hey, Millard. Can you go
Lord.
and find Thunder?
Chid!
Kaz is just gonna very loudly shout, Thunder! The
And
fuck are
lightning.
you?
Very, very frightening.
I don't know if that's
Galileo?
What do you want?
to do
We're
shit.
leaving!
Ow! There's a head poking through, like, the hole in the roof for where the fire goes out of this place.
What are you doing up there?
I've been sleeping on your roof! Spying on you!
Why didn't you? We had tea. You could have come down for tea.
It was a bet! I won the bet!
What did
Ah.
you win?
Bet.
So they with the
What
squirrel.
did I win? I can't remember!
Good.
Is it
Well done.
nuts?
Was the bet with the squirrel?
No, of course not. That's just silly. It was with a bear!
Ah.
There's a bear up there?
Oh,
Okay, I'm gonna get out before the bear collapses the roof.
he's been up here all night. He's here fine. Now, if the lion got up here, he's a little chubby.
Okay, I'm getting out.
That seems like a good idea.
There's like a lion outside that you just haven't noticed earlier. Who's just been hanging out by it. Who like kind of gives a weird look up towards the roof when he like yells something about him being a little chubby.
All of you could have come in for tea.
Oh no! I was going to, but you were all drinking a lot, and I was not one for drinking. I swore off alcohol about
1907?
Shut the fuck up.
something like that. It interferes with your mind. There are much better things to eat, like mushrooms.
Can I have some?
No.
Sure,
No.
No.
they're edible.
Just because
Are they
something's edible
hallucinogenic?
just because it's edible doesn't mean you should eat it.
Oh, those are the bad mushrooms. Well, those are usually the bad mushrooms. Except for certain ritualistic needs. And we aren't contacting strange spirits right now, are we?
Do you have
done
some
that
just
right this moment.
nice, calm, tasty mushrooms?
Sure, here you go.
Okay, I'm a carnivore. Carrion, you can have these if you like.
Uh,
What the mushrooms?
yeah, they're like one of those weird-looking mushrooms that are edible, that are like really unusual. Like,
Chicken of the
It's an
woods.
ear fungus.
yeah, it's one of those things. There's like just, yeah, they're just.
But is it tasty?
Do you like mushrooms? I don't know. I'm not a mushroom fan in real life, so I cannot tell you if they're tasty or not.
Actually, I think
Matt
Earth
is also
tongue,
not a mushroom fan, but I
Earth
think
tongue
Carrie
might
would.
be poisonous, so probably not Earth tongue.
I love mushrooms.
Okay,
I'm gonna say Carrie likes them because
Sure.
that's funny.
they're very good mushrooms that he found, and he has actual just mushrooms that he found. They seem slightly cooked, probably like just toasted over a fire or something. He had like a handful of them. He'll give you some.
You know what? This is acceptable. Hey, Thunder. Does Michelangelo like me?
Oh, Marcus! Marcus, do you like her?
I thought it was Manuel.
I think he does.
Yay!
I don't
have a
think we have a real name.
Come now, Marcus. Return to my side. I might need you again to give more directions.
But I want him to stay with me so he can give me directions.
Marcus, do you want to stay with her? You don't say. Really now? He'll stay with you.
Yay!
Get him drunk some more.
Yes! We're gonna be great friends, Michelangelo.
Carrion, we're running low on alcohol.
Your point?
We can't give it all to the squirrel because then we can't drink any.
It doesn't
The
need
squirrel
much.
drinks like an acorn and he's drunk as hell. I see no issue.
Well, to the dragons.
Hey, do
Actually,
the dragons have alcohol?
We have to go.
Going
You
to
don't want the
Grun
dragon
first.
alcohol. We're gonna go
Oh,
to.
you're going to see Grun, are you?
Yes.
Ooh.
the ancient progenitor spirit of the apes is sending me there.
Well, I won't go into Grun's territory. I will take you to his borders and wait for you for taking to the dragons. But I will only wait a few days, for if you do not return, you have been murdered and your skulls have been made into drinking cups.
My skull can't be made into a drinking cup.
What?
Mine.
That's cold. Hey,
That sounds like a challenge!
Into a drinking cup.
Sure.
Look at me
Nice.
for a moment.
Uh-huh.
This is my true form. Bloop.
You're weird!
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to being my usual self.
How
You can't
unusual.
drink out of that.
Carrion, if I die,
That seems, again, like a challenge.
blow me up. Just a massive explosion.
Yes.
Regardless, Grun is one of the strengths of this forest that I would not want to battle with.
Or
Calling forth him in a battle would indeed be very powerful. Next to perhaps me and my brother, there are very few very powerful things in this forest beyond it. Perhaps a few of the elves, but they don't say much. They seem very, we are all one, blah 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 blah, a lot of the time. So it's kind of hard to tell. But
Yes.
he is the most powerful of the apes by far. If I went all out on him, well, I don't know which one of us would win.
I
don't
hope not
even-
to have to fight.
I don't even think 900 squirrels could defeat him. That's saying a lot.
And a bear and a lion.
Oh no, they never fight. That one's a big softie. She just sits here and hangs out. And this one here, I mean, occasionally wants to get into some ruckus, but I mean, he's mostly gone vegetarian while hanging out with me, haven't you, you big softie? Just enjoys all the nuts and berries he can eat.
He's talking about the gorilla, right?
No, the lion.
And
That's unhealthy.
not
for
the
the
lion, the bear.
Oh, the bear.
The bear's
bear.
not mostly volunteer.
I think that's also unhealthy for a bear.
They're omnivores.
They are omnivores.
Are omnivores.
Yes. So they theoretically...
It's
It's
still
also fantasy.
it's still not healthy, but because they can't take vitamins to make up what they're not getting from the meats.
No, they can't.
That
But-
bitch kinda-
But he
There's
has been feeding it
magic.
a lot of mushrooms.
There's
Probably
magic.
also feeds it all the squirrels that die.
Yes.
There's probably a vitamin spell.
There probably
Yeah.
is some vitamins. Honestly, if there's
Oh,
anything...
Good berry.
Yeah, good
Oh,
berry.
good
Gives you
berry.
all your nourishment that you
Yeah.
need.
Yeah, good berry.
Yep. He's probably good bearing the shit out of the... we'll see under him. Anyway, so why don't we leave it here, where you're about to go and talk to a nice gorilla friend who's totally not gonna be murdery and angry at you, and then you're gonna go talk to some nice dragons who are totally not gonna be angry and murdery at you.
Again, you don't want
Then
the
we
dragon
gotta
out.
find gnomes.
And then you have to find weird gnomes, and not
We
like
don't
Cold
have.
daughter.
you don't.
They're like
Cold daughter.
no, they're like an optional objective.
They are like an optional objective, and they are weird because they are not like the gnomes you'd think about in D&D. They're a little bit more fairy tale-y gnomes, somewhere in between the two of them.
Nobody knows.
More like a creepy version of David the Gnome, who was already a little creepy to begin with anyway, but that's besides the point.
I don't know who that is.
Look it up, David the Gnome. It's an old cartoon that was on Nickelodeon when I was a kid, and at the end of the series, he goes off into the mist with his wife, and they both die, you know, apparently, in gnome fashion of, like, disappearing into the mist and no longer
For
existing.
children.
This thing, yeah, I know.
Yeah. The actual gnome-looking gnome.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like a garden.
Garden gnome.
Yeah, the garden-looking gnomes. We're more traditionally, like, garden gnomes are actually based on traditional, like, fairy kind of gnome thing. But they're kind of a little bit more like that, except also weirder and creepier.
More shadowy, you said.
Giant
Yeah.
fox in it, so...
Yes, which is pretty cool to have, like, a fox as, like, your riding mount, you know. Is its name, like, Swift or something? Am I remembering that correct? I don't remember.
Taylor Swift?
No, the fox. I don't remember his wife's name, but it was David, who was a doctor. I remember that much. Anyway.
Oh, it's this guy. Hang on, I know this. I found a meme that I recognize of this man.
We're gonna end it here. We didn't have a second break, but unfortunately, like, by the time I finished up what we were doing, I was like, might as well finish up because we only have like a half an hour, 15 minutes left. And we went a little later anyway, you know. So that's why we just kind of pushed through to the end there. But yeah, thanks for joining us. That ended up being a very interesting one. You know, the rest of their party had a nice party, you know, with Cole being the designated driver if they were going to be driving. And then, you know, Claude got to speak with someone in his head and, you know, got like a dark side offer, basically, you know, like, you know, join the dark side, we have cookies, you know.
If instead of cookies, it was ancient arcane knowledge.
Yeah, which is,
Basically the
You're
same
more
thing as turkey.
interested than the person he's offering it.
oh, you know, he knows who to offer it to, we'll put it that way. And he said some things which are tempting, so I will leave it up to you how you want to go with that entire route. I've given you the option. You can take it whatever direction you want. But let's give some shout-outs to people like we normally do. We'll start with Mads, as we normally do our counterclockwise from the side here.
Hi. Tuesdays, sometimes, when I'm not in an incredible amount of pain, we play Star Trek. Fuck. By me, I mean Tantus and Joe and I, on Unfunny Ones channel, around the same time this one starts.
Yep.
And that's it. I'm very tired. I have a sleep schedule now.
Sleep schedules are good. I have had sort of one for a while, which I've been happy about, but it's not been great. I at least fixed most of it post main part of, you know, last year's plague, you know.
My doctor literally prescribed me a sleep schedule. It's like, get some fucking sleep, dude. And I was like, okay.
I at least briefly wake up either at 8 or 9, and then sometimes I go back to sleep, but I'm at least waking up early. You know, it's usually I sometimes choose to go back to sleep. Now, when I go to bed at night, that's a mixed bag. But anyway, Fish.
Hi everybody, I'm Fish Harlan. This week, actually, I have an update on a couple weeks back when I said I was going through Mustelification, which is the evolutionary process wherein one becomes a weasel. I'm still working on it, but I do now have a mink skull, which is progress.
Mm-hmm. Mink skull!
$15.
Nice.
And then we have Momo.
Yeah, hey, you can find me here on Wednesdays when we play. We have the missed session with our pirate game, which has a name that I've forgotten.
Buccaneers of the Shackled Sea.
Yeah, and sometimes on Discussing Tabletop.
Yeah.
When so we'll probably join 30 minutes late. once in a while to crash the stream.
Hey, crashing the stream is usually fine. We accommodate for that, and I can switch scenes to be like from X players to X players, or X people to X people, and it really transitions easy. That's good. And then partially missing because of the weird green screening effect, Joe, as your part of your like head disappeared there for a second.
Oopsie. Yeah, I'm Joe. You'll find me on channel, and I'm doing Star Trek, and you'll find me here.
Yeah. I just now about Dracovin. Right now the schedule is, of course, Buccaneers of the Shackled Sea, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. EST. This show, 9 p.m. I'm 9 p.m. on Funny Ones channel. 2 p.m. on Saturdays discussing tabletop. I've been doing a bunch of Valheim. I'm going to try to throw something else in with that. I like playing that a lot. I know I'm going to reach an end for that, but I'm certainly going to probably play some more on stream and do a little bit more stuff off stream. I'm going to try to do that so some of the grinded stuff is taken care of. I'll get some other games set up in there. And, of course, I don't know if it's going to be... Because this week's a little last moment. I'm still working on some stuff. I might make it next week. I'm thinking right now maybe Sunday at some point in time. I've talked about it. My Midnight Mega Monster Movie tabletop drive-in that I'm kind of planning out. Kind of in that area. I'm going to figure that out. I've been working on assets for it. And then I have to do the basic stat block stuff for everybody, what the basic rules are. And then I have to find some people to play at least the first Thirst of the Anthology. So it's going to be an anthology kind of more horror movie thing. And I'm hoping to get at least the beginning of it before the end of October. Definitely. But I don't know if I'll have it this Sunday, which is only a couple days away, depending on how much work I get done over the next couple of days. And if I can do a lot of work, or the next week after that. I'll figure it out. But that's coming up soon. And tentatively saying 2 Sundays from now. Tentatively. We'll see. I'll send out announcements on Twitter and Discord when I get that working. But for now, and 7 days tomorrow. Lightning's right. 7 days tomorrow evening. We've been having a lot of fun with that, with streaming with Unfunny One and some Blaze, Lightning, Umber, and occasionally Cell. So, anyway, everybody out there, have a great rest of your Thursday or Friday if it's begun now, like me and Joe. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane, and I hope to see you for the next things. And until those times, farewell, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.